We all had people in our journeys, whether it was faculty members, whether it was our parents, whether it was other clinicians, other people that were trying to support us along our journey or at least encourage us, but they said, hey, have a backup plan just in case, right? And that sentence right there just leaves you thinking, if I don't have a backup plan, am I being too risky? Am I gambling with my career? And I want to help you rethink that entire conversation. I'm turning dreams into reality. Hey, what is up? How you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I'm a physical therapist, one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Ground, where we help you get into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. And if you are a pre-physical therapy student who is working hard to get into physical therapy school, or you're interested in the field of physical therapy, then you're in the right place. And I say this after every training that we do, but if you find value in this specific training, then feel free to binge all of the other trainings that we've done over the past few weeks, months, and years that are all meant to help you get closer to your dream of becoming a physical therapist. So let's dive in. This is going to be a fun topic. Fun is relative, right? But it's a very important topic. And we're talking about backup plans. Have you ever, like as a student, ask yourself, have you been taught that backup plans are a good thing or a bad thing? Have you been taught that backup plans are beneficial to you or they're irresponsible? I don't know. Like, have you been taught that it's being smart, right? Maybe that's the direction we need to go. Like, is having a backup plan smart, right? And I'm saying this just because for many of us, at least students that we worked with, myself included, we all had people in our journeys, whether it was faculty members, whether it was our parents, whether it was other clinicians, other people that were trying to support us along our journey or at least encourage us, but they said, hey, have a backup plan just in case, right? And that sentence right there just leaves you thinking, if I don't have a backup plan, am I being too risky? Am I gambling with my career? And I want to help you rethink that entire conversation, because what I did not realize for a long time was what was underneath the concept of a backup plan. So when someone was telling me to have a backup plan, what was it? What was the root, or what was the reason? What was the rationale? Why were they actually using that as something to help me, protect my emotions in case things went wrong? And so let us talk about that, right? And so one of the first thing, that it took me years to understand, and it's one thing that we've helped many of our students understand. I'm talking about students that have previously applied like 3 application cycles in a row, students that have applied to as many as 15 to 20 schools in a given application cycle with absolutely no interviews, no acceptances, all rejections, right? And all of those students had a choice. They had a choice to either at that point have a backup plan and go down a different career path, or figure out what they needed to do to give themselves a much better chance, or a much higher chance of getting into physical therapy school so that they could try again. Now, for many of those students, the reason why I have those stories in my mind is because those are examples of students that did not have a backup plan. Those are examples of students that did not quit, that figured out, hey, I might need to get guidance. They ended up hiring our team, for example, to help them navigate through this process. And they all got into physical therapy school, and many of them are either currently finishing physical therapy school or they are currently physical therapists. So, which brings us back to, is having a backup plan a good idea? And I'll tell you that I truly do not believe it is. I do not believe that backup plans are a good idea, but for one very specific reason. It's the fact that backup plans are usually fear masked as being smart. So I'll say that one more time. Backup plans, especially when it comes to your career, are simply fear masked as being smart. So you're told, well, having a backup plan is smart. Well, what's really happening is that the person that is telling you that doesn't know what to do, or would not know what to do if things did not go as planned. So if you got rejected from school, that's someone that would tell you, well, I don't know what to do next. I don't know that you got rejected. Maybe this isn't meant for you, right? That's someone that wouldn't know what to do if you did not do well on the GRE, would not know what to do if you did not do well in your retakes, right? So it's fear. It's the fear that if things don't work out, there won't be another turn. There won't be another move that we can make. When in reality, there is. It's just that most of us don't know what that is. Does that make sense? And so we first of all have to understand that when I am talking about a backup plan, what is the root cause of needing a backup plan? It is fear. It's the fear that I will do everything in my power and things will not work out. Now, let me give you some perspective, right? Because this is super, super critical. And when we coach someone, this is the conversation that we have with them. We say, okay, cool. Like, let's hypothetically go down the path of you having a backup plan. Okay, so what would actually happen if you had a backup plan? Well, after asking a few questions, we quickly realized that when you have a backup plan, you typically are more divided in your efforts, right? You're always doing things with one foot in, one foot out, just in case, just to protect yourself, right? The other thing too is the fact that when I have a backup plan, I basically have a quitting point. I am giving myself a quitting point. I will try until blank. I will try until I am rejected by all the schools. Then I will have a backup plan. It just doesn't quite it doesn't align. It doesn't fit, right? And so what that does, it leads me to feel paralyzed when I don't know what the next move is. Does that make sense, y'all? And so one of the biggest shifts that I have seen students have is when they let go of their backup plan. The reason why that happened is because they started thinking 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, 15 years ahead. And they asked themselves, if I did go down the path of having this backup plan or leveraging this backup plan, would I be happy with my decision 5 years from now? Maybe right now it feels good to say, you know what, PT's not working out. I haven't gotten into a program. I'm retaking classes. It's not working out. Let me go down a different career path so that I can at least feel like I'm moving somewhere with my life. I'm moving forward with my career. I'm moving forward with my life. And you also have people in your family that might be telling you, well, I had dreams of becoming something else, but it didn't work out. So because it didn't work out for me, it means that life doesn't work that way. And it's just like, y'all, those are just narratives that are just leading to this like fear of, man, like things don't usually work out. And it just leads you to spiral and assume that it might not work out for you. And so when we ask these students that we coach questions, they're like, well, 5 years from now, would I be happy? And if they say, yes, I would be happy with my backup plan, then the reality is, cool, go ahead and do it. What about 10 years from now? Would you be happy? If they said, yes, cool, go ahead and do the backup plan. But most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, students say, no, I would not. And I ask them why. And they're like, well, because the career that I feel most aligned with currently is physical therapy. Now, as you're listening to this, you might be aligned with a different career, and that's fine. It applies to whatever career you feel most aligned with. But we basically say if 10 years from now, if 15 years from now, if 20 years from now, you would not feel fulfilled, if 20 years from now, you would not feel happy, if 20 years from now, you would not feel aligned with that backup plan, then does it make sense to do that if all it's going to take is an extra year of us doing things that would help you get into physical therapy school? And instantly, you can see their mindset shifting like, wait a minute, no, that doesn't even make sense. Like, why would I do a plan that I would eventually resent, right? Just to make my family happy right now? Well, here's the reality. If you keep fighting for your career and get the direction and clarity, they're going to celebrate with you when it all works out anyway. Like, we've had students that have had super, super low GPAs who their entire family were like, yo, you need to have a backup plan. We had a student who had a 2.4 GPA after graduating from college. And literally his entire family was like, yo, you won't need a backup plan, right? But when he ultimately said, you know what, I'm going to look for different guidance, different direction, other people that have been through this. He joined one of our coaching programs. Now he's currently a physical therapist. So that same family is celebrating with him, right? And so when you're able to take a step back and ask yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, would I be fulfilled? And if your answer is no, then we don't have any business using backup plans as an scapegoat, using backup plans as our method of saying, you know what, I'm actually just afraid that things won't work out. What would actually better serve your desire to become a physical therapist is putting yourself around other students who have been in the exact same position as you. We say this a lot, and I'm going to keep saying it again. Like, there are other students who have been in the exact same situation as yourself. and they were able to get to the other side, whether it's grades, whether it's anxiety, whether it's rejections, whether it's being non-traditional. Maybe you had several years out from school, you feel like you're too old, too young, whatever that is. You feel like I can go down the entire list. There are other students who have been just like you and they were able to make it happen. So if that is the reason for your anxiety, if that's the reason for your fear, if that's the reason why you think you need a backup plan, then your big solution should be, how can I find those people? How can I find other people who have been exactly where I'm at? And then secondly, how can I find guidance that will always help me find what my next best move is, so that I never have to give up on my career, but I'm always fast tracking myself towards this desire to become a physical therapist. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? That is one of the biggest mindset shifts you can have. We just waste way too much energy, way too much time on backup plans, and they are just simply fear masked as you're just being smart, right? Like fear masked as just being smart. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully this gave you, just an eye-opening awareness of how this process really works. And if you're like, you know what, I want access to that level of guidance, I want access to that level of community, here is your first step. Your first step is to go to this link. The link is www.rejectionproofprept.com. You want to be rejection proof? Basically, you don't need a backup plan because you can actually learn what it takes to be rejection proof. Well, that's the best place to start. It's a 10-minute training that we did that literally will give you the blueprint to this whole game. And what will happen is after that, you will be given an opportunity to get on a strategy call with one of our team members. And when that happens, then we will be able to sit down and say, what are the blind spots? What are the areas that we need to look at to help you become an irresistible applicant, despite the fear that you've had that, you know what if I do everything in my power and things don't go as planned? Because like I said, there are other students that have been exactly where you're at. And if you want to start that, if you want to make sure that you are locking yourself into this dream career without ever having to consider a backup plan, go to that link and we will help you from that point on. So go to www.rejectionproofprept.com. And if you enjoyed this, please be sure to like, subscribe, share this out, tag us on Instagram, tag us wherever you are posting this, so that we can reshare it as well. But share this with your peers who also need to hear this, because so many potential careers, so many dreams are killed because of you need to have a backup plan in order to be smart, just in case. Y'all, please unlearn that. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll see you on the next training. Bye.